All right, today we're going to demonstrate how to unload the Caravan load. You're going to find that these semi trucks come 30 trailers to a load. There are also going to be 3 pallets of tires. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a quick walk around. We're going to check for any visual damage on the trailer while the driver's unloading, or unstrapping, I should say. See lights, don't see any scratches, blocks between everything. Everything's looking good there. Got lights on all of the backs, side rails. Got an axle for every unit. Axle for every unit. And all right, so this stack shifted just a little bit into the tires. So what we have to do is we have to pick up 5 at a time. So we're gonna go to the 6th trailer down or 5th trailer up, and we'll need to drop the side rails, and we'll show that here later in the clip. So while the driver's unstrapping, our first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our tires and get those off. We'll come in here, we'll side shift left, pick that stack off, get the bottom, side shift right, and then we'll get the tires out of the way. The reason why I want to start with the tires is that's going to give us the ability to bring the forks in to lift up from the A-frame to get blocks underneath our 5th and 6th trailer. So 5th trailer down or 6th trailer down, 5th trailer up. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move out of the way. We're going to go ahead and stab into the first tires. Go back. There you go, side shift. There you are, you're clear. And Randy, I wanna take these stacks and put them in between our 2 racks that we got set up. So basically load your tires in between those 2 deck overs.
Okay.
All right. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna count to the 4th trailer up, and we're gonna drop the rails on the 4th trailer. What this is gonna allow us to do is to drop the rail all the way down on the 5th trailer to allow for our forklifts to clear the ramp that's laying on the deck. Now, the forklift we are using here today is a H100. It has the 72-inch wide carriage, 72-inch long steel forks. Therefore, we're going to have to use the fork extensions. With that being said, we're going to have to lift this stack, I'd say about 4 to 6 inches higher than what it's currently sitting in order to get our 5-inch fork to clear through the back gate. Fourth trailer up, we're gonna pull the pin. It's right there on the inside. Go over to the front of it, we're gonna pull the pin out. All right, then we're gonna let that gate down. We're gonna go up to the 5th trailer now. We're gonna drop our 5th trailer gate all the way. This allows us to get all the way through with the fork extensions, like so. So the 4th and 5th trailer in the stack, counting from the very bottom of the driver's deck, you will have to lower those gates. You'll have to do that on all of the stacks. On the front stack, you will need a ladder to be able to get that one, as it's higher than ground level. All right, now that we've got those, you're gonna notice that there's some green banding. I always like to position myself in a safe position. That way when I cut this banding, if it was gonna roll, I want it to roll away from me or to the left. We'll go here to the back, position off the rear corner. We're gonna cut the banding strap here. This banding was put on during Caravan's loading procedure. The truck drivers will actually do a strap over the whole whole load. So we're going to reach in here, we're going to clip the front A-frame on this side,
You do not want to attempt to try to lift up half stacks with these bandings still attached. All right, now, like I said, the Vegas forklift, we only have a 72-inch fork. Most stores are going to have a 96-inch fork. Your fork, if you have a 96, it'll travel all the way across from curbside to roadside. Whereas our forks is only 72 inches, we're going to have to lift up one corner at a time to be able to block this up. Now, when we're lifting up the back, we want to check the front couplers. We want to make sure that we do not wedge the front coupler up there into the coupler's latch behind that, right? We don't want to bend that, damage that. So now that we've got this lifted up, we do have the big forks here in Vegas, so we had to do 3 blocks. I recommend using a 4x4 if you have an 8-foot by 4x4 plank. That actually works perfect for this. We didn't have any laying around, so we ended up having to use some 2x6s. 3 tall was what we needed to clear the ramp. And we have the 5-inch thick 108 fork extensions here. The 96-inch fork, 2 blocks is sufficient, but like I stated, the 4x4, if you got a long 8-foot 4x4, that's the safest. All right, with the front, you're going to notice the first cross member back. We want our left fork to rest directly underneath that, while our right fork's going to come up here near the front bumper, front A-frame. We're going to come in, we're going to stab in, and we're going to lift up. Now, for those stores that got the 96-inch forks, you're going to be able to stab all the way across and be able to block up curbside and roadside corners with this method. But here with the 72-inch forks, you cannot do that. You got to do all 4 corners one at a time. All right, drop these ones in. We're going to lower this corner, we'll go down over to the other side, and we're going to get staged and blocked up. We've already done the rear. We're now doing the last corner up here on the front. And we're going to slide in, lift it up, and then support the load with blocks. Now that we've got the load all on blocks, it's elevated, we're able to clear the ramp that's laying on the deck. We're going to go ahead and stab in. Now, there's a couple of stores out there. If you are a store and you have a 60-inch carriage, Trailers Plus Redlands, I know for sure you are one of those stores, you will have to remove the plastic fender. That's 2 7/16 bolts. So on that 5th trailer, you'll have to remove the fender because you will actually take your left fork, if we're approaching like so, and your left fork is going to go in front of the rear hanging bracket. That's for 60-inch carriages. If you tried to go and straddle behind the hanging bracket with the 60-inch carriage, you'll find that the tongue is too heavy and the load will tilt forward. So 60-inch carriage forklifts, you have to remove the 5th trailer plastic fender so that you can stab between the basically put your left fork right where that fender is, and that'll stabilize the load to be under it level. For the rest of the stores that we've got the 72-inch forks, you're simply going to straddle around the fenders. You want your left fork as close to that fender as possible, right fork extending forward towards the A-frame. We're going to lift up till the heel touches the trailer. Once the heel touches the trailer, we're going to tilt back, okay? We don't want to try to lift up without tilting back. We're going to tilt this load back. We want it all the way tilted back, and we do that before we even lift it up. So you raise up, catch the heels to the bottom of the frame, and then tilt back. The load will stabilize itself. So if this thing's going to fall, we want it to slide into the load backrest, not slide off of the tip of the forks. If you try to lift up first without tilting back first, you take the potential of that whole stack sliding off the front of the forks. We're going to creep back nice and slow just until the deck clears. And I'm sorry that my camera wasn't aiming. I had my eye more on the load and helping Randy than where the camera was pointed. We're going to go ahead and lower it down. We're clear. We're going to bring this down to within about a foot of the ground. Now we're going to go in reverse. Now, I still have the mast tilted all the way back. We're going in reverse, and the reason we're going in reverse is if we hit a bump, hit the brakes, and that load shifts, it's going to slide to the backrest. It's not going to slide off the tip of the forks. Now, I tried this with carpet to try to not damage or prevent any potential scratches with the powder coat, and I found that the load actually would slide more. And then also, while I was doing this, I noticed that the powder coat was extremely durable, and I didn't get any scratches when picking it up without the carpet. All right, now when we go to set this down, I put 4 styrofoam blocks across the back, 4 across the front, and then once I've got my second stack on the ground, I use those big 6x8 blocks.
All right, so we flip up the top rails, we slide our pins in, stage underneath the upper rail, and then we're gonna stage and put these onto our racks here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stage the trailer, we're gonna bring it in just before the racks. Once we're in before the racks, we're gonna use our tin snips, we're gonna cut off the axle zip ties. Cut the bag off, we'll take that bag, throw that bag on the deck. While you're at it, Jay, go ahead and cut these fronts too. And one more for the front. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna team lift the axle. We're gonna cut off the carpet off of the wire ride, let him pull this side off. All right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna team lift the axle. Okay, axle eyes are going to go towards the coupler, U-bolt plate goes on the ground, slipper spring goes towards the back. Then we're going to take the deck of the trailer and we're going to put it on our stands. We're going to put the trailer in position once we're here. That's good. Randy right there, let us slide the stands. We're gonna come underneath. We're gonna slide our stands into position. We wanna get into a position where we're not gonna be all the way up the trailer. There it is. We're gonna line it up. That stand goes underneath the front cross member. This stand here will go underneath that second cross member. We're gonna bring it down, make sure that it looks good. We're lining up.
Hold up, hold.
Okay, now looks good. Let's go ahead and bring it down.
Perfect.
All right, once it's down, we're gonna move the forklift out of position. We're gonna give the trailer a nice shake, make sure we're not gonna come off of our stand. From here, we're gonna get our zip ties. We're gonna finish cutting off the, our tin snips. We're gonna finish cutting off the zip ties. We're gonna pull the front pin out of the front gate. Front pin, we're gonna fold the front gate up. We're gonna take our pin, slide our pin in. And we're gonna open up our latch. Slide our latch into position and lock it. I'm gonna come over here, we're gonna do that same thing to this side. While we're putting these on, we'll have one teammate grabbing the hardware out. You're gonna get 3 bolts on one side, 3 bolts on the other side, one clear nylon sleeve along with the dampener bushing. Five lug nuts on one side, 5 lug nuts on the other. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna stage our axle. All right, brought our hardware to the ground. We're gonna grab 1 bolt, plastic sleeve. We're gonna put the plastic sleeve in place. It goes on to the bottom. Put the bolt in, put your nut on. We're gonna leave that be. We're gonna hang our axle slipper onto this bolt. What that's gonna allow us to do is to slide the axle shaft in and out to line up for the front hole. Okay, we're gonna team up, hook our back, Got the bushing in on the upper. It's gonna prevent the slipper from sliding out. Swing the axle up into position, just like so. Put the bolt in. We're gonna put a nut on the back side. Now that this side is stable, teammate will be doing the same thing. Side.
Yeah, need a hammer. Also looks like this one.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just gonna grab the sledge.
Jay, team. What you need?
So on this side right here, if you take this one out right here, guys, pop this upper out for me real quick. I'm gonna show you. So if you leave this upper one free, go ahead and lift it where you need it.
Yep.
Then you can put your front bolt in without fighting it.
Got it.
It's safe to do one side because then it'll hold that axle. Then we come up here and then we're gonna pull down on that beam. Just pull down on it a little bit more, and then you're gonna slide your little bushing into play. There we go.
Real tight up in there.
All right, now that we got those nuts on, we're gonna take our 13/16 on the outside, 7/8 wrench on the inside. We're gonna tighten the bottom slipper bolt first, then the upper bushing, and then we'll get the front eye. From there, we're gonna go ahead and we'll mount the tires. Impact on the outside, wrench on the inside. These are a crushed nut washer type, so it's gonna bottom out. Bottom one. And the top. If you do that top bushing, it'll flare the bracket out and make the bottom bolt hard to tighten. From here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mount our tires. These are 14-inch tires. We got one associate mounting the jack. He's putting this sand pad on the front. While he's doing that and the guys are mounting the tires, he's gonna sticker the front, come sticker the back fender. We're gonna pull the pins out of the rear gate. We're gonna set them onto the tail light like so. Now when we're putting our ramp on, these pins, it's crucial, the pin goes in, R-clip to the outside. If you try to do it this way, when you fold the ramp down, the R-clip will get...
It's very crucial that that pin goes through the inside R-clip towards the outside. If you do it the other way, when you fold the ramp down, that R-clip will actually break off. All right, we're gonna finish up tightening our bolts on the other side. We're gonna start with the bottom slipper bolt first, then the upper dampener bolt, then the front hanging bracket bolt. We do that bottom first because if you do the dampener, the top one, first, it'll actually flare the hanging bracket out, making it tougher to tighten the bottom bolt. Front hanging bolt next. We're going to go ahead and mount the tire. Now notice that we're using the air impact. Your cordless impact will not tighten the axle bolts down all the way. You want to use that air impact. It's more efficient, gets those bolts tightened all the way down. Also allow you to put your lug nuts on faster as well. So we're going to hold up the ramp. Now the key to putting your pin in here is when you're holding the ramp up, you want the gate kind of tilted out towards you. So hinge tight towards the hinge hole, but lean the gate outward as if you were going to start to fold it down a little bit. It will allow that to line up like that and allow you to put that in. R-clip towards the outside. Once again, you put your R-clip towards the inside. When you open that ramp, it's going to break it off there. Shut the back latches. Ensure that the clips lock into place. From here, we're going to get our light cart ready. Notice here on the 2-inch ball stickers, the 2-inch ball stickers had to go on the tongue jack. The sticker would not stick to the powder coat. I don't know if it's just our adhesive, but it had to do the ball sticker on the tongue jack. We're gonna get the excess wood blocks, excess zip ties cleaned up. Remember, zip ties, banding material, wood blocks, you never want to leave that laying around on the ground. Never want to run it over with the forklift. That plastic is sharp enough to cut the forklift tires. All right, so here we are. We're going to hook up our light cart. We're going to do a little quick light test. Power on the cart. We're going to hit clearance. We're going to verify all the clearance. Now, the benefit of these trailers is they're a short free wiring system. It's a molded system throughout the inner frame rail. Pretty trick on the wiring. Left turn, right turn. And notice as I walked around, I shielded my hand underneath the left turn light just to verify that the license plate light was showing clear glass there on the bottom. Trailers Plus sticker on the fender. From here, we're gonna get the forklift. We're gonna take it off of the stand. Now, there's so many steps to assembling these trailers. I found it quicker and easier to assemble the entire trailer, get the trailer off of the stand, set it on the ground, then grab my trailer checkoff sheet, verifying one line item at a time and double checking my work. Now, there's a couple of reminders that I want to discuss. There is no Trailers Plus store forklift that we own that can pick up an entire stack. The 6x12s weighs about 9,300 pounds, which exceeds the forklift. Any forklift for that matter that we own. So for H100s, we will only take stacks of 5. H90s, you're capable of taking stacks of 5. H80s and below, you're only going to be able to take 4 trailers at a time. That concludes the video for how to unload a Karavan load.